Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the fascinating, extreme, and honestly sometimes destructive lengths that AI companies are going to just to secure a competitive edge. We're looking at a multi-front arms race right now in the AI industry. We've got billion-dollar capital bets, geopolitical hardware showdowns, and this massive token bloat taking over the internet. But at the very center of all of this, it's an absolute insatiable hunger for data. And as we're about to see, this hunger is driving some of the most advanced tech companies on the planet to literally destroy pieces of our human history just to get ahead. Right now, completely behind closed doors, AI labs are quietly bulk buying rare, out-of-print books on the secondhand market and completely destroying them to train their models. We are talking about precious, historical books that have survived wars, fires, centuries of handling. These beautiful, tactile pieces of human culture are being irreversibly turned into paper shreds. To truly grasp why these companies are going to such insane lengths for an advantage, we really have to look at the mechanics behind it. Part 1. The Data War, Shredding Books for AI. So look, the internet has basically already been scraped dry, meaning these models are absolutely starving for unique, high-quality human text. Think about it. Most AI companies are training on the exact same free digital data. So to build a smarter model, you need inputs that literally no one else has. And the playbook these firms use to get it is brutally efficient. First, they bulk buy rare and out-of-print titles. Second, they literally slice the spines and binding right off the book. Third, they run those loose pages through high-speed sheep feeders to rapidly digitize the text. And fourth, they permanently discard and destroy the physical object. The text survives in the machine, sure, but the artifact itself, it's gone forever. Now, you might be wondering, why destroy it? Why not just scan it and donate the book? Well, it turns out this destruction creates what the industry calls an AI moat. In the AI business, a moat is a competitive advantage you gain by locking unique, high-quality human data inside your specific model. If you buy a rare book, scan it, and then destroy the physical copy, no other competing AI model can ever get their hands on that exact training data. You are essentially model-locking historical material to your company alone. It is a highly calculated move to literally starve competitors of high-quality inputs. To put the scale of this into perspective, one database website quietly noted that a single AI company destroyed 2 million books. 2 million! And what's really striking is the intense secrecy surrounding the whole thing. Companies allegedly mask this aggressive data hoarding with strict non-disclosure agreements, and they even actively coach clients to use these sterile, PR-friendly terms like digital preservation. But let's be real, it's not preservation, it's decimation in the pursuit of the perfect training data. As one insider joked, they're shredding centuries of history just so an AI can learn to write a slightly better marketing email. Part 2. The Capital War, the $5 billion bet. Now, this extreme pursuit of an edge doesn't just stop at hoarding physical data. It also requires astronomical capital. Let's look at Safe Superintelligence Inc., or SSI, founded by former OpenAI architect Ilya Sutskever. The contrast here is just staggering. They just raised a mind-bending $5 billion purely on reputation, backed by computing giant Nvidia. But if you look at their public footprint, it's virtually non-existent. 0 products on the market. Their website is literally this retro 1990s-style black and white page with plain text and just 3 buttons: apply, updates, and contact. In an era of totally bombastic tech marketing, this anti-design screams that they are doing something fundamentally different behind closed doors. They've been operating in total monk mode to develop what's believed to be a completely new model scaling architecture. SSI has been incredibly quiet, dropping only a few sparse updates over the years. But it all recently culminated in a massive strategic partnership with Nvidia. Jensen Huang and Nvidia wouldn't just hand over $5 billion and priority access to their best chips without absolute confidence. It shows that whoever cracks the next major algorithmic advancement, maybe real-time learning rather than models frozen at training time, is going to command virtually unlimited resources. Part 3. The Hardware War, China's Push. Of course, brilliant software architecture means absolutely nothing without the physical chips to run it. Compute power is the ultimate bottleneck. Facing strict U.S. export controls that were designed to block the flow of advanced computing chips, Chinese state-backed firms have aggressively shifted their strategy. They are now mass-producing key components for DUV lithography machines themselves. This is a massive step toward bypassing Western controls and building out their own fully independent domestic chip supply chain. It just proves that the AI arms race is every bit as much about physical manufacturing as it is about code. And the global economic ripple effect of this breakthrough? Absolutely immediate. The very moment this new Chinese production capability was announced, the stock of ASML, which is the Netherlands-based market leader in this specific tech, dropped instantly by over 7%. The market is waking up to the reality that the global hardware monopoly is fracturing. So with hardware efficiency growing, software models expanding, and physical data being extracted, we're looking at compounding runaway growth on a massive scale.
Part 4. Tokens, Egos, and the Future.
As hardware scales and data is aggressively harvested, we really need to look at how these tech giants are actually measuring their daily success. Right now, the industry has become obsessed with one specific metric: token usage. Total model token usage has literally tripled since early 2023, soaring to over 60 trillion tokens. Looking at the landscape, it breaks down into a few clear strategies. You've got models like Memo v2.5 driving massive volume just because it's incredibly cheap to run at 11 cents per million tokens. Then you have DeepSeek v4 pushing over 6.37 trillion tokens by maximizing capability per price. And finally, the heavy hitters like Cloud 5 and GPT 5.5, which are currently leading the pack in actual workflow execution.
But this explosion in token volume isn't exactly a victory lap. As one industry insider perfectly summed it up, a token leaderboard just became the biggest slot fest the world has ever seen. Companies are chasing vanity metrics, completely putting the cart before the horse. Instead of focusing on actual business efficiency or, solving real problems, many firms are just prioritizing raw, bloated token usage to inflate their stats. This complete lack of discipline is leading to what people are calling the ultimate sloppification of the internet.
Part 5. Beyond the Data, the Next Frontier.
So, we've looked at the aggressive extraction of data through the physical destruction of rare books, the $5 billion bets on new architectures, the geopolitical scrambling for hardware, and this chaotic explosion of token usage. Where does this all actually lead? Well, this is the thought I want to leave you with today. If AI companies are already willing to aggressively buy up and shred our rarest, most precious historical books, just to gain a slight edge in text data, what happens when that text data inevitably runs out? The next logical step to train smarter models is understanding the three-dimensional world. Are we going to see these same aggressive companies turn the night sky into a sea of drone swarms? Will they place sensors in every corner of the physical world, scanning every atom of every life form just to feed the machine and maintain their AI moat? The arms race has already claimed our physical books. The physical world might just be next.